What if I told you that helping people relax can earn you more money than your full-time job? So that brings us to the one of the most asked questions for hypnosis is, can you make money with hypnosis? And that's what we're going to speak about. The answer to this question is yes and no, depending on how hard you're willing to work. Okay, if you can fill up a 4-day week with appointments, you're going to make a much bigger income than most likely what your present salary is. Okay, 5 days a week, you're going to make an exceptional income. And if you do like me, when I started, I actually worked on Saturdays, and so I did it pretty much 7 days when I started. Then I kind of wound down to when I was doing well to about 3 days a week. Don't tell nobody. Uh, it was fun because on Saturdays, I was pretty much the only one open in my part of Main Street. I was on the main street in a small town, Sanford. And the truckers kind of got the word out that I was really good at smoking cessation. So they let each other know, probably on the CBs, that this guy is open on Saturdays for truckers. And if you came down to my office on a Saturday morning, you'd see these big, not Mack trucks, but tractor trailers lined up down the side of the street, and they'd be coming in for hypnosis sessions. So it's funny, once the word gets out that you're good at something, it spreads, especially with truckers or people that are always on the radio. So that was pretty cool. So anyways, if you could fill up a 4-day week, I mean, think of it. Back then, I was charging, what, $80, maybe $80 a session. Now today, I charge about 250 to 300, depending on what it's on. The average client, you're doing a minimum of 4 sessions for them. So, whether it's smoking, stress, confidence, weight loss, motivation, all these different topics, I suggest a minimum. And we teach you all about how many sessions and how to do them and how to get them and how to explain them. Okay. So, myself, my first year, I didn't make 6 figures my very first year because I started in like June or July, I believe it was. But that was, like I said, close to 30 years ago. But I came pretty darn close to it. And every year afterwards, it was very easy. So, yeah, matter of fact, I have a book. It's below in the comments saying how to make 100,000 a year as a hypnotherapist and 5 different ways. Oh, 5 different ways you can do it with hypnosis sessions. I was into comedy hypnosis. I got into that eventually. Being an instructor, as an instructor, I actually doubled my income. That was like, I think about maybe a year or 2 years after I got into it. I said, "Oh, what can I do? I can work less and make more money." There's a lot of different ways to do it. We'll get into a few more of them. So the neat thing about being self-employed, in addition to the income, is that you're self-employed. Okay, you're your own boss. You have your own hours. At the time, I was a single dad raising 4 girls, so I would drop them off to school in the morning at about usually 8:30. I was in the office by 9:30, starting my sessions, and I was usually done by 2, so I could be back to pick them up and bring them home. Eventually, I opened a separate office besides the office I had downtown. I opened a second office in my home, and I hired somebody to continue to work that one. So I kind of worked both of them. So I could work on my home. So when the kids came home from school, they'd come in quietly. It was great. Remember, I have teenagers. I had one, the home I had at the time was a house right across the street from a college, and the dean used to own this house. Big house. Had a big front porch where the business people would come in with those French doors, and then it had a back door for the family. So I had this huge office with murals on the wall. It was very, very nice. And the kids would come in the back when I'm doing a session, and of course they'd see my doors closed. They knew I was in session, so they'd come in, and I had relaxing music playing. They'd sit down and wait for me. They were told not to make noise until I came out. So by the time I came out of my session, they'd be, "Hi, Dad," all relaxed from listening to the hypnotic music, self-help yoga type music. "Hi, Dad, how are you?" So they'd be so calmed down. It was great. I just got 4 teenagers coming in, or 4 younger kids coming in the house from outside, all excited. And now they're all lethargic and everything's calm in the house. And it was nice. Heck, sometimes even when I didn't have clients, I keep the door closed and let them sit there for about 20 minutes anyway, just so I had that advantage. So uh, the thing is, I was able to work, longer hours and more hours working out of my home. So, and today, of course, most of you can work out of your home with the idea of, doing online hypnosis on the computer or even on the go. If you're on vacation, you can do online hypnosis right on your telephone. So it's pretty awesome. But you call your shots. But remember, though, you call the shots. You're an independent contractor. It's your business, but you are also responsible to how much business you're going to have, which means you need to keep speaking to people to get your clients. Who is a possible client? Everyone you meet. When I first started, I went door to door to the different businesses, handing them little packets with a free coupon. It was $100 off the fourth session of a 4-week quit smoking program. And I'd say, hey, I have a gift for you. I just want to introduce myself. I'm the hypnotist that moved in down the street. Thanks. And the envelope said $100 gift certificate inside. So who goes door to door giving away free gifts? So it's a great marketing technique. And I had a lot of people coming in. The doctor right across the street, when he had a client, he'd say, I don't deal with smokers. Here, take this coupon, go see the hypnotist across the street. So I got a lot of business that way. So you are a marketer, number one, and a hypnotist, number two, because you are responsible for your clients to come in. Let's see. And like I said earlier, virtually anyone you know can be a client because pretty much everyone has some area of life that they can improve in. Also, for making money, I mean, depending on what you want to do, there's niches that you can get in. You can specialize in smoking. You can specialize in metaphysics. I would go probably a year specializing in one, then I moved off into metaphysics and past life regression. I really had a lot of fun with that. And I kept on changing my niches from time to time. Then for a while, I got into group hypnosis. Group hypnosis, you're charging a lot less. Instead of charging $200, you might charge $75 a head. But what if you have 50 or 100 people? Okay, you can see that can be very lucrative as well. Digital products. I'd say probably now, because it took us about 5 years to get this way, but I'd say about maybe 80% or more of my income is from what I call passive income products, books, hypnosis books, hypnosis courses, hypnosis MP3s, hypnosis online sessions, all these things where I put them on the store. People see them, they purchase them, I'm making an income. So most cases, I get up in the morning to go to work, I've already made my daily income. So the sessions were just kind of, I guess you could say, gravy on top of my passive income. But it took, like I said, about 5 years for me to make a full-time income just with the passive income products. And that's something that anyone can do, okay? If you can talk like I am right now, you can be making videos. If you can, or get rid of the video and just make audios, you are sleepy, and you're making, oh, that's putting people to sleep, but you're doing hypnosis session audio MP3s. Like I said, writing books, it's not that difficult. We have courses on how to write books. Matter of fact, I have a book writing course showing how to write about 20 different kinds of books. We started writing books about 25 years ago. I wrote my first book. And as of right now, it's well over 200 books. I lost count at about 150. I know I put out probably 60 of them since the beginning of this year. Okay, so it's not that difficult. You can write a book in a weekend or in a day. Matter of fact, I've got a book that I wrote. It says how to write, publish, and sell a book in one day. And that's exactly what I did. I get up in the morning, I wrote, I published, made a web page and everything, and sold that book. And by midnight that day, I sold like 23 copies of it. And I took the names of the people who purchased it, and I put them in the book, in the material of the book, thanking them for being my first customers. I mean, it's crazy, but it shows people how it can be done. So bottom line, can you make money? Yeah, you can make a great income if you're willing to work. But if you're going to sit home and say, where is everybody, and not do anything, then you're going to have a nice hobby maybe, but you're not going to have an income. But I left, like I said, I was a single dad raising, 4 girls at the time. I needed an income, and I left my full-time income and jumped right into this feet first. and was doing well right away. But I mean, like I said, I'm a hard worker, and I'm hoping that you are too. So if you'd like to learn more about hypnosis or the different things you can do, if you go to our online store, which you'll see a link below the video, we have probably over 75 different courses on everything from hypnosis to past life regression to covert hypnosis, which is basically hypnotizing people without them knowing it or with their eyes open. There's group hypnosis, you name it, we have a course for it, and a lot of self-help courses as well. And you'll find that book down there for how to make 100,000 a year as a hypnotherapist, 5 different ways of doing it. And I think I covered pretty much comedy hypnosis, being an instructor, doing sessions, doing MP3s. And what was the 5th one? Look, there's a 5th one. I can't remember what it was. Well, the book's behind me. You'll have to take a look at the cover of the book to know that. And also our instructor hypnosis certification. If you're already a practitioner, or even if you're not, you can take our instructor hypnosis certification. It's home study courses. It includes the hypnosis certification course. So you can become a hypnotherapist in the home study course, then jump right into becoming an instructor. So now you'll have 2 businesses. You can hypnotize people for sessions and hypnotize other people to be hypnotherapists and giving them a business of their own where they can make a above average income. So all the links to that are in the description below, and I thank you for watching.